Alright, guys, so part 3 of the Batman commentary and analysis. Let's go. We are at an hour, 3 minutes, and 35 seconds. We're just opening on the Gil Colson case at the church, at the funeral. So 3, 2, 1, go. So, of course, saying to the Batman, I love this helicopter shot. And at first, I thought the police were gonna do their business with the bomb uh, robot or whatever, and that was gonna be it, and Batman would maybe come after. But seeing Batman come, like, with always out of darkness with his heavy footsteps and making his appearance, like even in a dire scheme like this, what's he looking at? Noise. And I love Batman's noise. He's all around you. You don't know where he comes from, except from the shadows. And even SWAT officers are like, holy fucking shit. Of course, Gordon eats shit for it, but the Batman does what the Batman wants. And I love that the phone's been ringing for hours and hours and hours. In these trying times, never forget, I'm just a phone call away. Answer. He's got to answer. The first time they connect, connect virtually for the first time in real time. And of course, Batman will settle, his mind will stop to the word unmask because that's what feels true to his heart. Like, unmask. It's a very powerful term, a very powerful expression that he relates to. So he has to ask, like, why did you choose that word? He doesn't say it verbatim, but he has to acknowledge, like, he has to repeat the word because it rings so true for him. And all these letters are for him. So now the first signs of the Riddler wanting to work with Batman. It's like, I've been trying to reach you. I like that he's live. I'll say two things about Paul Dano's. I hope this doesn't scrap the sound here, guys, but it's fucking hot in here. I don't know. I'll say two things about Paul Dano's Riddler. I hope they didn't alter his voice because he has such mastery over his voice that he doesn't need computer or whatever the means to alter. He doesn't need altering his voice. He can do whatever you fucking want. Secondly, I like that the Riddler's laugh makes me as uncomfortable as Heath Ledger's laugh, and um, that's all praise for Paul Dano's Riddler. Even when I'll think about what I'll say it when we're in the Joker's um, the Joker scene and the post credit scenes, but his laugh is just unequaled. He really got it. I'm giving you a chance. No one ever gave me a chance. Three riddles in 2 minutes. Sounds fair. And I love the tension. The tension in this scene can be cut with a knife. It's fucking. You see it. You see the timer on his neck, and of course, yeah, it's good. It's good. Audience, you may find Batman Justice. And then Batman here is tested. I love it because he's not tested like in the beginning scenes, like he had a computer and time to think about it and tools and just time. Like here, it's time or death in real time. He can't think. He can't. He has to improvise on the spot, or someone's gonna get blown up. So I love that he has to keep his demeanor under dire pressure. Justice, you do not lie. So yeah, 10 G's a month. So we're back with renewal. Renewal was used by the evil in Gotham to pay all sorts of bribes and people and everything he wants. So he's the fucking DA. So 10 G's a month for the DA to do whatever you want seems like a fair bargain. Okay, okay. Don't lose your head, Mr. Colson. Riddle. Love this. Love this. I love this. He says no. Batman tells him straight what he needs to say, what Coulson needs to say. Just a name, just the name you're protecting, the name, the name, the name. And Coulson says no. Even he's got 19 seconds to live, and he says no. And Batman says, I love. He advances and says he's gonna kill you. Five, four, two. I'll be back in a sec. All right, I'm back. So let's go. Batman just got blasted in the face, and of course, this leads to my first and only problem about this movie. His armor is just too damn strong. I mean, I know he puts his arms on his chin, so that's how he doesn't have. Even there should have been a burn, a cut, just some form of wound. Yeah, just I call it plot armor because it's just so damn strong. I know, I understand that the level of the chest armor and arms and masks are protected, but for this, you're gonna have an explosion like this and not have a scratch or burn or anything at all to conserve your main lead, Precious Charisma. I find it very, very hard to believe. So that's, of course, we saw him put his arm. So if I want to reach very long, very hard, I can say, well, I can apologize for the movie's fault. And I can apologize, of course, Warner Brothers and Matt Reeves don't want disformed, guttered, burned Batman. Of course, they don't want that. But I mean, there are so many ways he could have just walked back, dodged, rolled, escaped, grapple, just so many things, and he knew it was coming. So why and for the final fight too? I mean, it's just his armor is too damn strong, and the only fault I give this movie is that I am never, ever, ever afraid of Batman's survival and of Batman's repercussions because he's almost too, he's just too damn strong and steady for everything. So that's my one and only problem with this movie. But I love that he is brought in a capsule. Yeah, talks to the new commissioner. What was he afraid of? I love that. I love that. I love that. Someone tries to reach to grab a bat here, a horn. What do you call it? Long, yeah, one of his long pointy ears, and to unmask him, and he just goes nuts, and it's like boom, boom, boom. It's like three cups. And Gordon is still getting everyone to back off. Even the new commissioner is selecting, is trying anything to put the Batman uh, into into a criminal, into an accessory for murder, into whatever will take this Batman down. But of course, Gordon's uh, good charms leaves him with just the slightest edge to put him through that and to leave. Um, as we say, it's a great piece. I mean, and I love it. I love it. I love this line. I love this dynamic. I just wish we could have seen more. I mean, it's this fucking movie. It's like when I talked about um, Colin Farrell wanting to munch on cigars, and it's like, oh no, well, it's for the kids. And I shut up, Warner Brothers. Shut the fuck up. How dare you say the penguin cannot munch cigars in a dark noir detective story? It's like, wake the fuck up. It's like, call it, make it rated R if you want to be a little dick about it, and if you want to be a bitch about it. Fuck you, and fuck off. It's like, this is pure art. This is refined. This is great acting, great action, great storyboarding, amazing soundtrack. It's like, don't you see the gem you have in your hands? You find a precious diamond in your hand. You have a diamond this size in your hand, and you still can't see what you've got? What the fuck is your fucking problem? Open your fucking eyes and realize that Matt Reeves is doing you a fucking favor by putting out the best Batman movie ever made in real life. So just go to hell, Warner Brothers. It's like, I just want to see like a cop, like just a little shot and little blood and little broken jaw, and he said, yeah, I have a view of assaulting an officer. Batman said, actually, you want me assaulting three. And that's just, and Gordon says, hey, what's the matter with you? You two now. I love the fucking mask. It's so elegant. It's so sculptural. He looks like a shadow because he is the shadows. And Gordon knows very well that this isn't going to be fine. He has to find an escape route for the bat because yeah, and Kenzie, I loved it. So Mackenzie, which we saw in the Iceberg Lounge fight after the baseball bat in the face, he shot Batman through the baseball bat, broke his nose. So now he's back with a broken nose, and you already saw through Catwoman, Selena Kyle's lenses that he was Kenzie narcotics, and so he wants to confirm this with Gordon and to say, yeah, this is a dirty cop. This is a pal. This is a cop that moonlights for the Penguin. And he says maybe the Penguin is his main job. And oh, the color, the detective color looks so good. Mm 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 mm. He moonlights as a cop because the Penguin bring oof punch in the face. And I love all this. I mean, it's a little, if you think about it, it's a little ridiculous that all the floors of the Gotham City Department are now filled with people that will shoot Batman on sight. I mean, what about lost bullets? What about people on the other floors? What about all the stratagem behind this? But for action's sakes, it's. I mean, there. We have come to understand that the cops will find any available reason to shoot the Batman and to kill him. I mean, nobody likes him, nobody trusts him except Jim Gordon. So I let that pass again. Like the armor is like, yeah, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, and it gives us a great scene. So whatever. Just Batman running in real time because we have 10 floors of policemen. And I love this. And a gargoyle. And he's like, holy fucking shit, I'm fucking high. And I have no idea how this flight suit work. The camera here. Jumpsuit. A flight jumpsuit. Of the visuals. Oof. Oh. Oh. And I love the fall. I love. People said, "Oh yeah, it's too hard of a fall. Batman is too well protected." It's like, weren't you there for the explosion in his face? It's like the explosion in his face would have done much more damage than this fall. He has bulletproof armor all over his fucking body. It's like, you see how he fell. You see, he hit, his body hit through multiple vehicles and rolls on the sidewalk. It's like, yeah, it's gonna hurt. I only wish it hurt him. Like I've said, plot armor. His armor is so. Um, at least make him for the next for the 5 next minutes, make him more like, you go, fuck, I'm hurting, and oh fuck, this fucking fall made me hit me hard something. But I mean, the fall looked fine. I have no problem with the rolling and the hitting the cars and hitting the, the bus or whatever, and rolling into the street. And because when he finally gets up, it's like, holy shit, I'm hurt, I'm hurt, I'm hurt, I'm hurt. And he has trouble if going up, and he has trouble running back. But then 2 seconds later, he's perfectly fine with a new suit and a new cape. And it's like, okay, so Like, what jump in time? Is it the same night? Is it the same? Did you just go back to the Batcave, put on a new, like, scratch off his wounds and came back? Like, it's, we need a little bit more info over the flow of time. We know the movie with the two monologues spends out in a week, but that's, if you're gonna if you're gonna say exactly how much time passes between the beginning and the end, we need to know how much time passes, because now we have the bomb in the face and the gliding, Jesus Christ, how can I call it? The gliding, the gliding hit, the gliding, the mishandled gliding, and the fall. We have the bomb in the face and the fall of gliding, and he's still without beautiful, without a scratch. It's like, guys, what? Why won't you? I know his joy is beautiful, but just put little bit of blood, little scars, little cutting things, little. Remember that this, if you want to make it so real, at least put on a little bit of edge, a little bit of, because now he's just perfect again. Nice joke. So for this conversation, they're trying to understand Rata Alada, um, and I love that Gordon says, "I am the only person I trust is you. I can't trust any other policeman because they all can be corrupt or bought or are paid off or just bad. So the only person I can trust in my circle is you, because you have been relentless in your efforts for cracking this case." So Batman is still with his stool pigeon theory. So he says, "Time to have another talk with the Penguin." Oh, we're here now. Oh, This movie's editing is just so incredible. So here we have a lot to talk about. So I'm here, and of course Batman's already on the roof. And again, skylines. People, stop having skylines. So, a drops manufacture. Excuse me. So, another big piece of the puzzle. Batman just found the drops manufacturer by following Penguin's car and the twins. So, again, we have to trust the audience in knowing and remembering that Maroni, the biggest mob boss in all of Gotham, was busted because of this Drops Enterprise. And like Gordon just said, are you telling me that the biggest drug bust in Gotham, Gotham police history was a lie? And Batman's like, yeah, because it's up and running. It never stopped. What? Why would they have? Why would they have stopped? They just continued with another crime lab bus. So again, trusting Maroni, trusting the Penguin, understanding the mixed elements and their storylines, all this shit rolled into one, and to have the audience make sense of it and understanding it fully with the tense um, the tension that will bring Batman to his next action scene. It's a long shot. I mean, Matt Reeves must have the biggest balls in Hollywood. I mean, it's just so precise storytelling that, and for those who have never read the comics, it's just a longer shot even. So it is crazy how he got away with it, and it is fucking smelling fucking good for when I'm where I'm sitting. So let's go. And he sees Catwoman arriving. I mean, Selena Kyle. And the twins whip goes down. Voila. So, just quick fight scene. Whip around the ankles, break to the ground. And for the other, uh, we have again the Russian style as a lot of history of working with improvised weapons. So for in her case a whip, to whip the gun away and to flip a circle high kick, high heel straight in the face. Easy for Catwoman, can be done with a single movement. It's like turning, gun, disarm, 180, 180 degrees turn, kick in the face. So it's like one action, one turn, two, disarm, turn, kick. So that was it. Very effective. Not realistic, but effective nonetheless. She's fucking Selena Kyle. And I love how she's only here for money, and that's good enough. Jesus. And she finds Annika. in the trunk. And as soon as she finds Annika, the bullet starts flying. And it's crazy, and I love it. And I love that for once, the plot armor got Batman down. Because, yes, he got riddled, rippled with some um, bullets on the side angle of him, and he protected his face with his arm, and he got one in the temple, and that's what drove him down, like dizzy, like what the fuck. And Gardens comes to the rescue. And Gardens taking heavy fire. Jesus fucking Christ. And he is there to save the Batman because with his petty little car is gonna confront like 5 or 6 gunners. I mean, one, two, three, four. Yeah, five, three. Looks again. Catwoman's disappeared, and the Batman. And I love, of course, the first sighting of the Batmobile because it was the last thing we expected, and it was the perfect time to introduce it, and the sound it makes, the it's just like a monster. It's just like a creature of the shadows, just like him, but in a car. And we've never seen like, okay, we're just used to see the Batman, the car, the Batmobile, whatever you want to call it, in his Batcave. It's like all the pieces were in order, but he's working on it, and we never know. We're never being um, told how when he's gonna complete it, how did he work on it, when is it will be ready for a drive test or for real operation. And he says, no, fuck all that. I'm I have my Batmobile. It's coming. Fuck you guys. And it's starting, and the penguin is like, he doesn't understand, and nobody understands. And it's roaring like a monster, like a dragon. Ah, ah. And it makes a false start, and love that it's like a dragon, a literal dragon. It's armor. It's bulletproof. It roars fire like a dragon. It's a monster, a creature of darkness, like a black dragon. And here comes the chase. Selina trips him with her motorcycle, steals one bag of money, and that will be her take. The score. The drums. The camera angles are crazy. Crazy. Again, guys, we're at again in the core of the chase. 1 hour 20 seconds and 34. 1 hour 20 minutes and 24 seconds. And I'm like, I'm not a stunt driver. I don't know anything about cars. Uh, all I can say is that the music is gone to a whole nother level. It is completely nuts. It is we're in crazy town, and the Batman is pushing his monster car inside the Penguin's shadow. So I'll try to. What do you want me to say? This guy's crazy. Fucking yeah, right. I love how the penguin is crazy. I love how he likes it and how he says, "Yeah, come on, come on." And I love how a real he doesn't have any munitions, weapons. The penguin's trying to gun it down, but of course it's bulletproof. I mean, the Batwoman. It's the first Batmobile that has no weapons at all. So, and that it makes it the more interesting of all, because all the only power of this Batmobile is the skill of its driver. It's just it's just a car, a muscle car, but it needs a good driver. And Batman, like it was stated in the prequel novel, is a very adept and a very skilled stunt driver. I love all the angles of the cameras, of course, the cinematography they chose for each take of this car chase. And penguins penguins just want to break his way through, but when he can't anymore, there's just vans everywhere. And when he sees Batman coming, it just stops. And the van just splits sideways, knocks the Batmobile, but just goes under. Oof. And he drives by, goes on the ramp, explosions are coming, 3 vans down, and he'll just go through the fucking fire. Because Batman, as I said many times during this review, is a battering fucking ram. Nothing stops him, ever. Not bouncers, not killers, not bombs, not police, and certainly not vans and cars. So he just walks slowly with his heavy boots. And the score comes in with the rain, the heavy, heavy rain. And time for little penguin interrogation. So now they're starting to make sense and to test the theory of the penguin to be the rat. So there's a lot of fast dialogue, so I'll just dissect it. So they're going on a theory that the penguin is the rat. So and Anika worked at for the verb below, and she got too close at his drops operation, and in the Maroney case, and she was a witness, so he got her killed, and then he got the money for, of course, the drug business and the renewal project, and all, so on and so forth. But of course, believe it or not, Penguin is not it. Penguin is not Irata Alada. And funny thing is, he corrects their Spanish. Come on. We're as great as detectives. Fucking bat. you, you are hell. And again, their direct connection with the Riddler. Interesting. You're missing the big picture. I need to show you more for you to understand. You will be soon. Here's a clue to where we can find him. I grew up from seed, tough as a weed. Yeah, he's an orphan. Goodbye. Fuck you, Batman. I don't know. He just says, "Let's go," and he just closes military grade computer, and he just fucking goes. Um, hey, we finally passed the halfway mark. Hooray! God, this will take a while. Is my camera still going? Yes. Oh my god. So now they're going to investigate the old orphanage that was paid by the Wayne Foundation. Again, a callback to the renewal, and this is very, very, very Arkham City like Arkham Asylum, Arkham City like set pieces. So the graffiti letters on the doors and the walls. Um, that's straight Arkham Asylum, straight. So I can't believe Matt Reeves did not take inspiration from that. And again, just my only question is, so we have I'll let it play, but we have the video. I mean, they just talked to the Riddler in real time. So did he remotely activated the projector? Because we have a projector needs physical a person to make it work, make it project. So anyway, however it works, again, renewal. And of course, we see the famous picture of Thomas and Martha Wayne, or Thomas Wayne and Martha Arkham, in my eyes. And we see the choir boys that the Riddler is a part of. Again, I am struggling with the question because it isn't clear in my thoughts. Is renewal, because I don't think, of course, if I'm mistaken, I'm sorry, but I'm just going with my gut here. Is renewal, it says a $1 billion donation for reinventing, resourcing the city's different problems and holes, and to benefit the city through everything. It's like $1 fucking billion can make things happen a lot, like we saw the criminals use it. But is the renewal fund, because it got killed not very much later. So was the renewal fund the $1 billion a yearly um, bill for mayor? $1 billion for renewal fund, but in my head it was 1 billion a year, because for all the money in Wayne Enterprises and the Wayne family and the Wayne corporations, it's like 1 billion a year. 1 billion alone is great, but it won't accomplish. I mean, it will do some things, but it won't accomplish greatness, or it won't change the scales of Gotham. But if you say my renewal plan is 1 billion a year, that is a whole different story, and that makes him very much more potent and potent, important, impactful. So in my eyes, it's always been 1 billion a year. That's the only way, because you can't say that the renewal fund is still paying mobsters. I mean, Bruce was like, what, like 9 or 10? So 15 years later, renewal is still paying mobsters and cops and dirty cops and everything. It's like, it doesn't make much sense. It will already be spent. So in my eyes, it was 1 billion a year. So that would continually, eternally pay for every um, gang, criminal, every element you can think of, because that's a lot of money. But just one donation of just 1 billion wouldn't do the trick. So I still don't know. He says his next victim is Bruce Wayne and Batman is gone. And I love how these scenes are not interconnected in real life. And he sees the smoke from the tower. Of course, that's real. See you in hell. As simple as that. And I love, love, love. Here we have finally a scene where we can call Bruce, maybe Bruce. Get some sleep. I love how we see Batman creating his own chessboard of evidence. just a bottle of color paint. Fuck, I love it. Sorry, guys, I have to just say fuck. Okay, so we have normalize Coulson. The sins of my father, empty. We don't. He doesn't know what he's saying until, unless renewal. But sins of my father? Question mark? Question mark? What are they? What are the sins of my father? He doesn't have the clue yet. Savage, a lot of evidence. Renewal is a lie. Nothing. Because renewal is a lie must have been with the sins of my father. And Mitchell last with, of course, a lot of more evidence. And the Riddler's cipher in the center. So him with being barefoot, like he's shirtless and barefoot because he wants to connect like bodily, like he wants his skin to sense the essence of the question, the enigma, the investigation, all of it. He wants to connect with it on a purely physical level as much as an intellectual level. So I love how he is like just skin to the ground and watching all these clues circling him. Okay, and for the physique, I think it's a very well good job on the part of Robert Pattinson. I think that for a brawler that's been going on for 16 months, you would be. I don't want to say anything about it because he, like we said, this Batman trained for efficiency, speed, and dirty boxing. So he has chest, very developed chest. He has a very toned core, and his shoulders and arms are very muscular as well. So I don't have anything. I love how we see very plainly and very correctly. I love how we can see his musculature without any um, armor, without any like. Um, I think that's um, I think that's just great for what projection of Batman we have. So yeah, yeah, we see here his chest, all the scars. Love it, and that's another cue to my one every year renewal is a thing that's yearly because you open the drawer and we see multiple like 20 dossiers of renewal corporation. So that tells me that it's a yearly donation of $1 billion. So to again, maybe it's just me making fantasy in my head, but that's what I that's what the movie is telling me. Then he sits at his desk for studying, and he hears Selena still having the lenses. I like it. Where can we go? And we're still on the Gotham Batman projector, Batman symbol projector at the abandoned uh, building, and he is at the crack of dawn, or I don't know if it's dusk or dawn, but the orange, like if you see the making of this movie and you see the technology that was achieved by making this decorum, it's really amazing, and it's completely revolution. It's it's completely beautiful and very cra- again. Uh, Losing my words. It's been a long night. Uh, the craft of it. Okay, so for a little trivia, this movie marks Robert Pattinson to be the ninth Batman in a live-action movie. The previous eight were Lois Nelson, Robert Lowry, Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and that's it. So yeah, I love how she walks, and I love how she just spits out no bullshit. It's the main difference between Selena Kyle and Batman. Selena Kyle removes her mask and says everything through, and says explain exactly what she's about to do. Batman is the complete opposite. He's a he's an enigma, like like the Riddler. He doesn't show up his cards. And when she says, "Yeah, I'm gonna find Kenzie, and I'm gonna find the dirty cop who killed my girlfriend, and I'm gonna make him pay," and I thought we were vengeance, like fucking show up, like yeah, like show what you're made of, Batman. What, you got a problem with that? And we have a very um, interesting conversation because She says, whoever you are, you grew up rich because you don't understand what it takes to live, to make a living on the streets. Because, as we already know, Senekal grew up poor. She grew up on the street. She's as the street smarts. She's survival skilled. She's implicated in some dubious things, but she has a good heart, which is the only reason Batman is teaming up with her. And then Batman says, like, and she's saying all these things, and Batman was like, was it worth it compromising yourself on money and getting close to Penguin and everything, and Falcone, and she did, and she says Falcone owes me that money. And Batman's like, he owes you. And like, yeah, he fucking owes me. And he doesn't let go. He grabs her arm and he doesn't let go. He's fucking frustrated. And because he's my father. And Batman did not see that coming. And I love how Selena hands her own. And I am, because mainly in movies, I mean, in movies since the 2010s, when when some character is trying to um, explain their backstory or explain where they come from or explain, yeah, just their background, I usually go like rolling the eyes, like, we have to go through this again. It's like, okay, it's usually, I mean, the modern blockbuster cinema has killed character development. But Matt Reeves, who is a good director and who writes good scripts, has brought us back to another level of understanding. So we care. I mean, when I see her act, I care. And I want to know how she became who she became. And I want to know how the fuck is Falcone her father. And it helps with the Batman shadowy and the beautiful background, the golden background. It's so beautiful. It sets the stage perfectly for, again, strangled. And she says, you assume the worst in people. And yeah, Batman always assumes the worst because he was born from the worst. The worst things you can only have nightmares of. Batman was born from nightmares and he became a nightmare. So, however, the money or Alfred or anyone else or anything else, Batman is the embodiment of of course, vengeance, but he's more than that. He's a figure of your worst nightmare coming to wake you in your dreams if you're dreaming wrong. He is that type of creature. He is undeciphering. He is just the mirror of everything you fear. That's it. He is the creature. He is the shadows. And of course, Selena, just for the first time, caresses his mask. What are you hiding? Are you just hideously scarred? Yes, exactly. And I love how he is towering over her. It's like, are you just hideously scarred? It's like, that's exactly what I am inside. And it's so much of the Long Halloween in here. And she asks, will you help me? If I can find him, but will you help me? And we have the kiss, and it's beautiful. The score and the background and the costumes and the acting, it's all melting into one beautiful, beautiful volcano of orgasms. It's fucking great. And she's like, oh, she's taking it, she's savoring it. And right this touches him and walks off. So, explosive new Riddler videos goes viral. Killer's message has over 13 million views. Okay, so a lot to unpack here. So the Waynes and the Arkhams, very, 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 again, like Batman, antagonistic, um, visions. Yes, they're Gotham's founding families, but they were very, very different. Of course. So Martha Arkham, her mother killed her. So so Bruce's grandfather from his mother's side was gunned down by his grandmother, and then his grandmother killed herself. And again, still after that, Martha Arkham, Bruce Wayne's mother, was in and out of institution for mental illness of all sorts you can find. If you don't find the Court of Owls in any of this, you are at a loss. If the Court of Owls don't come running at after this movie, in the sequel, I don't know what you're smoking. Get out of it. In and out of institution. And Bruce is shocked. Batman is shocked. Hush, of course. For the sins of your father. And that's just great. That's what this scene here just stopped my um, dribbling of the gag with the twins and the Hasburg Lounge, and he's saying know who I am, and I love the contrast of Batman saying know who I am. It's like, yeah, but they close the door, or he goes through violence, and when he is Bruce Wayne, this is the first. I was mistaken. I didn't remember this scene. This is the first time when he is absolutely Bruce Wayne, because he is so distraught and so, again, in uh, um, psychologically injured, that he just has to see Falcone, and he just comes in a dark shirt in the rain with nothing, absolutely nothing but quench for answers. So, first scene in Carmine's Falcone apartments. Again, we see all the bodyguards that he's gonna have to go through later. I love, again, we don't, you don't want to see it, but in the windows, it's all digital projectors, and just creates such an ambiance of Johnny Slick. And Carmine knows, he's been watching the news, so he knows why Bruce is here. And yeah, I'll call him Bruce for this scene. and I love how he describes it. And Thomas Wayne said, because Thomas Wayne, I talked about it's very always very interesting to see the versions of Thomas Wayne they choose to showcase in the Batman mythos. And in Joker, it was very much a bad take, a negative take on Thomas Wayne's personality and mindset and everything. But in here, because the difference in this movie is that we never, except from videos or, yeah, videos, we never see Thomas Wayne in the flesh. We never see him for real. So when we are told by Carmen Falcone that Thomas Wayne said, I want you to put the fear of God in this man. It's like, and he already tried to buy him. It tells a lot. It tells, like, yeah, Thomas Wayne, just as Martha Arkham, may not be so innocent after all. And Bruce, thinking all high and mighty of his parents because they got killed. But it's not because they got killed that they were innocent. True and true. Batman has Batman Bruce always put his parents on a pedestal, like Alfred. But just like Alfred and his parents, there's a whole different story. It's a whole nother ball game, and he's about to learn some serious things, and that's what will forge the Batman going further. Because remember, we're only an hour and a half, an hour, a year and a half on his quest for vengeance. So what he learns here will forge him for the rest of his life. So it's very impactful stuff. When fear isn't enough. Oh, I didn't remember that. You said the reporter was on Maroney's payroll. Let's hear more. Thus, and again, and again, and again. Are you saying Salvatore Maroni got my parents killed? It's the most interesting and, again, impactful question of the whole movie. If this, because it's all, Batman's motivation is all about that night on Crime Alley when his parents got killed. So he's asking, is Salvatore Maroni a guy we didn't see in the movie? We only saw newspapers, articles with, we only saw rumors and witnesses and, again, just rumors and witnesses and articles, just hearsay of Salvatore Maroni, a character deep into Batman's lore that we never even saw in this movie. And we have to drill in this fucking character to understand a greater emotional sense into Bruce's. So, I mean, again, it's a lot to ask of the audience, but I am all here for it. Me personally, I know what Falcone is saying, and I know what Bruce is hearing. But for the majority of the audience, they must be fucking lost. So, praise to be fucking Matt Reeves, man. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Do I know it for a fact? Sure looked that way to me. So, why not? Sure looks that way. And I love with the violin, Bruce mounting to his parents' room with his locked with a chain. I love that. It's like it's such a burden, such a hopelessness, such such a horrible, horrible piece of his life that you just want to be chained and forgotten. And we only see a fraction, few seconds, and then he's back with Alfred in the hospital. And then we have the really emotional and, well, Batman is an emotional. He just said straight off again a battering ram. Batman is straight up with Alfred. You lied to me, you piece of shit. Yeah. And again, Batman is having doubts because there's no Bruce here. Even with Alfred's charisma or family link or whatever you want to call it, this is not Bruce Wayne that is here in this chair. This is Batman. It's like, because he said it out front. All these years I've spent fighting for him. Who's fighting for him? Batman. And of course, Batman's trauma is so. Again, I love this take on Batman because he, he, he doesn't only apply the no kill rule for himself, he applies it. I hope my camera is still running. Okay, Jesus fucking Christ. The no kill rule doesn't apply only for him, it applies for him, for his surroundings, and his parents, and his family, and his friends, and everyone. It's like killing a human being is a non-starter. It's a deed so wrong in the nature, in the aspect of life. It's such a sacred totem that it should never happen for anybody, for no, for not me, for not my family, for not my butler, for not my allies, nobody, nobody at all. Yeah, okay. So, we are left with the dual representation of the Wayne killings. So, the Wayne murders. So, Alfred's version of things was that Thomas Wayne, when he heard what Falcone had done, when he heard that Falcone had killed someone for his aspirational political views and desires, um, he tried to go to the police immediately and to curse his name forever and curse Carmine Falcone forever. And in the same night he did this, he and his wife got killed in front of Bruce. So, is it Maroni? Is it Falcone? Is it both? Is it interlinked? Is it because of his father aspirations? Is it because her mother's crimes and history and horror, and mental illnesses? So the two combine in such a dark and very compelling way that no matter the truth, we can see the truth is like buried under layers of all this stuff, of all this inquiries and theories and questions and about the sacred nature of murder. So so Bruce just sees murder. He doesn't see past this at all. So when Alfred tells him this story, Bruce is like, I don't care about any motivation, any reason, any history, any purpose, anything at all. There is never a right answer to murder. There is never, ever, ever a right reason or just maybe even if it costs you your life and your personality and your public image, There is never in this world a reason to murder. That's why the no kill rule is so much important for this new vision of Batman, and he has followed it so far. So we'll just see. I just want to check my camera because it stops. Okay, we're good. Again, nobody's sure. I wish I knew for sure. Nobody's sure. Very, very important dialogue here from the part of Bruce. I never thought I would feel fear like that again. I thought I mastered all of it. And this is the emotional epicenter that drives this Bruce. And again, at the slightest moment, he lets go. What calls for him? What calls to him? The Batman signal. Right there. And I'll just take a second to pause here and to say that this, for all for all the length of this movie, this I love how Matt Reeves kept it very tight and very narrow and but very efficient and all we needed to have because it gave us Batman's doubts, Batman's reality as he sees the world now with these new lies and con- contorted messages from a mobster to a mobster and a Riddler and everything. He everything he saw true, and he spoke to Alfred about it, and Alfred at the end um, made him realize that amidst everything that had happened through his parents' life and through his own life and through his Batman project, he needed a father. He didn't have one, but Alfred was always there for him. And that's the epicenter of Gotham, of Batman's core, and of Batman's emotional core. And as as much as Batman don't like to deal with emotions, sometimes you just have to, and he did. And it was a powerful scene for this reason, in my eyes. Now the signal's up, and he meets with Gordon, and Gordon didn't light it up. So who is there? Who is up there? And I fucking love this scene. Selina beating the shit out of Kenzie. Batman did not like guns. And I love that we're all of it. How many studios would have left the message played through? None. We hear Falcone. And we hear Falcone do what he loves best. That means strangling. He likes to strangle his victims. And we hear it all. We hear it all. And we can hear every detail of the strangling. Oh, Mackenzie's having his head. Yeah, think I got this. Again, he says, true renewal. So, again, that must be a thing still going on 20 years later, or 15 years later, or whatever. It's because renewal cannot be a one single action thing. It must be something that's going through the ages, even after the Waynes and Arkhams are dead. So that's just my take, but that's what I think. Yeah. I love all the Catwoman scratches. So here again, the no kill rule. Cross that line, you'll end up just like him. We'll do it, but not that way. And I love that. Just again, for the combat, I have no analysis for this combat method of just making her drop the gun, for Batman just disarming her from the gun. I mean, it's Batman, so he can probably do it. I don't know how he did, but he just did it. So I love this pass. Don't worry, honey. I got 9 of them. Catwoman's out of there. I love this. So okay, so let's go for some trivia. Arkham Asylum, a psychiatric correctional facility, had been renamed to Arkham State Hospital in this film. This is the second Batman-related movie which renames Arkham Asylum to Arkham State Hospital. The first film is Joker, 2019. So we have Joker, 2019, and the Batman, 2021, sharing similarities. So interesting, very interesting. I love how he does. So now Batman's mission is. So now Selena said, I'm going after Falcone. We have to kill this son of a bitch. And Batman says, okay, I have to stop her. I'm gonna do this my way. And we bring the rat into the light because Falcone is the rat. We have to bring him to the light. I will do it, but my way. And he stamps his metallic uh, thing into the, the pillar, the metal pillar of the building, and he just runs down. Wow, what a shot! Catwoman is arriving on scene, checks her gun, and puts on a suit, a costume just as Bruce has a costume. And as Falcone says, hey, I think it's a good time to call it a night. Yeah, so this will be the next part 3 of the Batman commentary and analysis. So, yeah, I hope some of you guys have enjoyed it. And yeah, I think this movie is fantastic. I think it delves into the mythos in a way that is very modern. Um, It's Matt Reeves as a way with visuals, and I don't want to minimize him here because Zack Snyder has a way with visuals, but never like this. Zack Snyder dreams of being Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves has a way with visuals that are coherent, beautiful, intellectual, um, and unique. Because what Matt Reeves thinks about and writes about and film on camera is something that has never been done before, and he is a true visionary filmmaker. And he just did his first few movies a little bit. I see him relatively like the fantastical filmmaker Robert Eggers that gave us The Witch and The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and The Northman, which came out recently. I think that Matt Reeves is of the same caliber, but he has done just the same amount of movies and with the same amount of intelligence and breakthrough filmmaking, and which teams himself with some very uniquely skilled crewmen, which is the cinematographer, the design, the hair and makeup, the digital, the editing, everything, the action, the stunts, everything. So I think we have to praise Matt Reeves at this point and hope for him to be in future major productions because he is one of the last true filmmakers, like Tarantino, like Robert Eggers, and Matt Reeves may just be the third one. So I hope his movie in his Batman series goes on for as far and as long as he wishes. I think he deserves the mental of the bat, and I'm sure he will give us even better, um, better films and better treats we could have ever imagined. So, thank you, Matt Reeves. Thank you, Robert Eggers. And thank you, Mr. Tarantino, for always giving us such great pieces of cinematography. So that's where I'll end my third part of the Batman series, of the Batman, excuse me, not series, the Batman movie. And yeah, I'll finish it as quick as I can. But so thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you on the next Batman video or maybe something else. Take care, guys.